If you want to be able to buy the most expensive players and open the best packs in FC25, go to u7buy.com to buy your EAFC 25 coins. It's cheaper than buying FC points and just as reliable. With their already amazing prices, you can get an extra 6% using promo code Inception at checkout. Hey guys, listen man, EA's got me doing reaction content now. Listen man, we're streaming right now. You know, I was getting the 100-player packs. And the 100-player packs that we were opening up was just like a pretty clear indication of like where this game's at. Because just from opening 5 or 6 of those things, we didn't pack a single promo card. None of the lower rated promo cards at all. Which kind of goes hand in hand with as to like why I haven't really done transfer market reviews as much this year. Because those videos don't really do that well because people are not really getting those promo cards and so on and so forth. Long story short, for content creation this year, it has been very rough so far, right? I don't know what they're going to be doing for the new promo. Hopefully they start improving on the stuff that they do, because with the way that they've been releasing evolutions, the price that they've been releasing at some of these SBCs at, like, no matter what anybody tells you, 500k for Musiala was a crazy price. You know, just stuff like that it's just really like cringe to see, right? So yeah, we're here doing reaction content now. There's 2 videos that my chat has already asked me to check out, so we're gonna go ahead and check them out. Nick has another one too. Maybe we'll do that one for tomorrow. But yeah, no, I've kind of refrained from doing the reaction content because it brings back like PTSD for me when it comes to this game. Because guys, not to be the I told you so type of guy, but I told you so when it came to these game modes, when it came to these gameplays, that this is what it would come to, right? Because this game relies so heavily on 1 o'clock content that most of the times with the 1 o'clock content, it actually comes down to pack openings. That's what you see most of the times on the YouTube channel. It's just people usually collecting the share plays and stuff from people opening it, whether that's coins or a few points. That's the main content of the day. Like if they don't drop an evolution or a cool player or a cool promo where you can like upgrade cards or whatever, like, you know, they did that sort of concept with Future Stars last year, where it was like, hey, we'll give you these amount of players and you can choose which one you want to do an Evo on. Like stuff like that is like innovating and fun, right? But now it's just like, here's cards that are on the transfer market that you're gonna have to pack, and if you don't pack, we're gonna make the pack weight really sus. People barely get them. I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's a weird point in this game. The thing about this game though, guys, and I've tried to mention this to people all the time, is that the game never actually dies, right? Especially if you're a content creator, it doesn't die. It just, your views can get hit pretty hard, right? Like I will say that for me personally, and guys, I rant about the game every single year, but you guys know that my content relies on whatever they drop for 1 o'clock, right? Which just hasn't been great pretty much this whole week. Because last year we got Vidic as an SBC. This year we got Varane. So I don't know what to tell you about that. But yeah, we're gonna check out what Nick has to say, because Nick, he plays the game much more than I do. He plays the game from a regular perspective because obviously he streams the game. I can't even bring myself to stream this game ever since FIFA 17 consistently. Like I don't remember the last time I played more than 2 or 3 games on stream since that game, because of their gameplay issues and because of their direction with game modes. So we'll see what he has to say. He has definitely more of like a high rated opinion than I do, because he's going to talk about stuff that I might not even know about, to be honest, because I try to actually avoid stuff about this game because it just gives me stress, to be honest. But let's see what he says.
Thank you for clicking on the videos recently. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on the videos recently. Thank you for clicking on the video tonight. This video is really going to be for almost everybody in the FC25 community, which is dying by the day because this game is just cooked this year, man. People, I look, in my career of doing this for 8 years, we've had our fair share of really tough years. FIFA 19 was a really tough year.
Yeah.
But you know, I think the originality, the promos, still with the dumb meta, the overall speed at which you could play the game definitely kept people playing. I think FC24 had a lot of rants because I think last year was one of the first years that EA really said, let's park the bus, let's slow it down. And look, this year for me, it's just Reddit today has put the way I'm feeling to this game, like I couldn't even explain it more than Reddit is saying. Someone put up this 8 hours ago and said, why is it every year a new FIFA and EAFC launches, it's considered the worst ever? But like, it's where it's at, you know, and ultimately,
Yeah, it's really tough because you don't just say it's the worst ever for the sake of just saying that it's the worst ever. It actually just does become the worst ever. Like they add new things that just doesn't make sense compared to what the game used to have. Like, I'll give you guys a very good example, man. Like the way that they implemented roles and the way that you can't switch your players' positions unless you have market cards that have those roles and all that stuff. And even if you have the roles, like it's mainly like, oh, I have inside forward plus or inside forward plus plus instead of a card that just plays on the right hand side and just adapts to every situation that he should adapt to. It's so linear because it's like, I've always tried to tell this to people, right? That when it comes to the new gen version of the game, it really is a nothing game because it's a game where they do hot fixes for stuff that they don't actually want to improve on, right? Like attacking AI from the old gen version of FIFA is significantly better than the attacking AI of the new gen version. So their way of fixing it is to make it even more linear. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's just it's cringe. Like the individual digits of what we used to have with tactics back in the day is literally better than what we have now, you know?
like EA, when they went to the whole new gen of FIFA 21 on, outside of FIFA 23, it's really not been any year was really great.
No, it's been bad. New gen is a nothing game, 100%.
But overall, the FC year, which is 24 and 25, these two games have been really poor. And look, this year is worse than last year. I don't even think there's an argument for it. You know, this is overall the most defensive game I've played. We look it down at the comments and people are just saying like, the game is increasingly worse. They don't fix what was bad and they add even more bad stuff. Millions of animations that ruin the game. Because the most part, it's true. The decline since FIFA 18 has been steady but noticeable, but the gameplay could be suffered if you really want to. That's where this year is the anomaly that will probably break the cycle in your title, but for the wrong reason, and that's because rather than the gradual drop-off we've seen previous, this game has fell off a cliff to never before lows that would take genuine, purposeful effort to outdo on the next game. Look, I think this is like exactly spot on. Because if you look, not even just with my personal enjoyment in this game, everyone's views in the community are low all time. And look, I'm blessed, man. You guys know I've been doing this for a while. You guys have been supporting for a while, and my views are still great. It's not about that. It's showing where the game is at. And it's crazy because like this weekend, right, EA dropped the Ballon d'Or cards. If you weren't around in FC this weekend, out of nowhere, the first time ever, EA gave these like lone 5-day Ballon d'Or cards, right? 95 rated, Mbappe. I mean, really, you could get some pretty crazy players from it. Mbappe, Jude, Vinny, Hansen, Bonmati, crazy players, right? And like ultimately, the craziest part to me was that, first of all, no one really got that excited. And I'm like, I was sitting there like, man, on another FC, I think people would have been like, or FIFA, people would have been like, yo, this is crazy. And I looked at it as well with two other viewpoints. The second one is like, when I tried the cards, the defense is the main problem in this game. People don't have fun playing this game because you get way more rewarded for defending and not manually choosing players, right? So the game feels very repetitive and it feels very like you're breaking down AI like crazy. But the other point of it I saw was like, man, EA just gave me an Mbappe, a Bonmati team of the year. And honestly, like, it really wasn't even that crazy to have those cards. And I think that EA tried to do something this last weekend with this promo to reignite the views. Because look, EA is not stupid. They know that, yes, they're trying to maximize user spend this year and last year with these store packs. There's 19 packs in the store right now. It's not about that. Ultimately, EA is going to lose business on this game. Yes, they could get more money per person, but if all the people are leaving to Call of Duty, if all the people are just hanging it up, it's one of those where like they actually need to put in some effort. So I think they went for a last-ditch promo with this thing, and it just didn't work out. The views this weekend, really, people didn't care. My biggest flaw with it, with what they did this weekend, and I don't know how you guys feel, what really disappointed me was that I don't feel like the cards that I chose were like absolutely insane. And let me explain what I mean. Mbappe I chose on both my accounts, and I had Smith and I had Hansen, right? They were really good for sure. Like, they were better than other players I've used, but they weren't that.
Here's what he's going to say, okay? And this is something that I explain in many other rants videos. All the players in this game feel like garbage, okay? All of them. They all feel like garbage. But when it's like if I do a review for a card, right? If I'm gonna be like completely honest from like my point of view, a card that is not like absolute full meta is not, they're not terrible to use, but they're not great to use, right? Because in this game nowadays, with the way that they do playstyles, with the way that they do roles, with the way that they do playstyles with the stats that you have, right? You guys saw that tweet from the long ball pass. You genuinely can't do simple things nowadays without certain things, right? And I told you guys over the course of the years, playstyles was going to be a way to manipulate you. And I told you before this game came out that roles was also going to be a way to manipulate you as well, because look at what happened. Salah doesn't have the striker position change, but guess what? He has a new promo card that does have the striker position change, right? They always try to come up with new ways to make it so that you want to get these new promo cards because they have certain play styles that is going to allow you to play a specific way. And this, I've told you many times, it's not the direction that I think the game should head towards, because you eliminate a huge part of players that people actually want to use because they don't match certain criteria in the game. And listen, I've said this many times, right? But with evolutions, brother, if we got evolutions released in FIFA 15, that's when the evolutions would be actually crazy, right? Because there's some cards that I've searched out or searched up that are sentimental value, where it's like, okay, let's say you eliminated the play styles, let's say you eliminated the roles, right? And all I had was players that I would have to put in a specific position, but then I can play him wherever I want afterwards, right? Okay. They would be significantly better. Cards that have like low 90s for dribbling stats would be crazy to use in like a game like FIFA 15, where roles are not a thing and play styles are not a thing, because you're going to dribble based off of your height and your body type, right? Now, don't get me wrong, obviously, at some point in the future, they would have to fix the way that the physical type attackers would feel, because those cards used to feel horrible back in the day. So this is what I'm saying. Like, their hot fix to making physical type attackers better in the game nowadays is they need to make everybody feel awful. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not let's make physical type attackers feel better. It's we're going to make everybody feel awful. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, when you get the agile players, they're going to be agile, but the physical players can play in this gameplay because the game is more physical now. You know what I'm saying? Physical, when I say physical, you guys know what I mean. Like, the game is like slower in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So, because I remember, man, in FIFA 15, I was like, you know, it'd be nice if, you know, the top strikers in the world were significantly better, but they could have done that, right? When they released new promo cards, they just had to increase their specific base card stats so that they would match the agile players. That's all they would have to do, but they never did that for those cards, right? Even with the team of the years that they dropped back in the day, they still made their dribbling stats like lower, which they shouldn't have done, because if like, you know, say for instance, back in the day, you would have like a Luis Suarez, right? And to be fair, Luis Suarez had a team of the year card that was fantastic, right? But he's probably not the best example because he was actually able to dribble back in those days. I guess he had like a unique body type or whatever it is. But let's say like Harry Kane, right? Back in the day, Harry Kane. The way that you would improve him without playstyles, without roles, without the those two basically working hand in hand with each other, is to basically increase the right stats on the card. That's it. But now it's like, dude, you know, your card will get 90s for dribbling as an evolution. And I look, right, because I see cards from like Santa Clara, and I'm like, dude, this card would be so sick to use, right? But I have 99 dribbling stats in every single area. But guess what? I don't have Press Proven Plus, and I don't have Trickster Plus to work with Press Proven Plus, so that my dribbling, generally speaking, just feels better. And you guys know this, because I know for a fact that a lot of you guys did the Alex Garcia SPC. You tell me right now, if you still have that card on your team, if his left stick dribbling as a midfielder doesn't feel better than most of the midfielders that you have used so far. Why? Because he has Press Proven Plus. But it's cringe to have that, because the game should just feel more responsive in general. But again, this is why last year, every time I did a review, I was like, I need press proven, I need press proven, I need press proven, because when cards did not have it, they just didn't respond well enough, right? I use cards that had mid 90s for dribbling stats, and if they didn't have, sometimes a Trickster Plus would save them. Like I think with Di Maria, he actually had a good left stick on one of the cards that came out. But if you didn't have press proven, it was cooked most of the times, right? For responsiveness. So
Team of the year level juice that we have in other years. If you went back and played FIFA 1920, those team of the year cards changed everything. Nowadays, because of AI, because of millions of promo cards, none of these these cards were team of the year level. They definitely didn't feel that way. And I think for me, it's ultimately hurt my motivation a little bit with the game, because I'm like, you know what? I think a lot of people are experiencing this right now. They lowered division rivals from 15 to 12 wins, and I think they did that not just because the community was complaining, but I don't think a lot of people were getting 15 wins, because I just don't think that.
Yeah, us complaining makes no difference, by the way. As I've always explained this to people, that the main thing is actually the regular people that play the game who don't even care about like the content creation space. They're the ones that make the influence. If they're seeing it from a statistical point of view that people are not playing it as much, then they're going to make the change. Not because we complain about it on YouTube. That's not going to be the case.
The gameplay is good enough to want to grind it. And I think that
gameplay and misbalance of gameplay game modes that I have mentioned ever since FIFA 17.
Ultimately
17 or 18, one of those ones.
I want to know where you guys are at with this game. I think a lot of people aren't trading as much because people don't really want to trade to get better players, because they don't want to play the game. And look, I know some of you guys will respond to this video saying, bro, just don't play the game. But I'm just making this video out of like a current state of where we're at with this game. And ultimately, it's really disappointing because like EA really this year went out and outdid themselves with a new level of crap. We've had 3 patches already that have had over 30 gameplay patches in one patch.
And they barely feel any difference, to be honest with you.
And for me, it's really disappointing, because if we even go back to FIFA 23, if they had just carried on that year, instead of doing all these animations and adding way more drop back and defensive AI, they actually, if they were putting their marbles onto that game to skin it, work on some stuff.
No, it doesn't matter. They will not fix inconsistent gameplay. So as I have mentioned, for probably 10 plus years now, the game will never be good. People are nostalgic for the old FIFA games, but if you played those games during those years, you were complaining as well. Not about inconsistent gameplay specifically, because people used to call me crazy back in the day, but they would still complain about the game, okay? People complain every single year. This will never change. Because sometimes people complain, but they don't know what they're complaining about, because most of the times, like back in the day, and sometimes nowadays, but it was mostly like the scripting, handicap, and momentum. That's what people used to, that's why I used to say, like, for me, like, the good versus bad gameplay is what people think is like scripting, handicap, momentum. That's why, like, I basically say the two are the same. For what people think. But like going back, it doesn't make that much of a difference, because like, dude, I'll never forget FIFA 15, how good that game was, only when it was at its best, because I remember streaming that game as well for 10 hours, never losing a game, but not liking the game. And then I would be like, all right, guys, like, I'm going to end the stream. I'll never forget, because my boy, like, Rage, who, like, old-time mods, were in that stream when that happened, where I played one game where the gameplay was good, and brother, FIFA 15 good gameplay, man, I'm telling you guys, like, imagine that game with a body feint nerf. Wow. Bro, good gameplay on that game, with the way that we had the game modes back then as well. Like, we didn't have like super sweaty game modes with division rivals and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was just divisions where you just got your 15k, you got your 8k, or you got your 4k. So you always felt like if you were on the game for 12 hours, 14 hours in a day, you were always grinding for something nice. And don't get me wrong, you have the illusion of you getting more coins nowadays, but the grind factor, when they eliminated the coin situation back in the day, and they had like the price ranges and stuff, right? That was that point when I was able to afford, I still have this video on the YouTube channel, when I was able to afford, like, I think it was FIFA 17 or 16, something like that, or 15, no, it might have been 15, where I was able to afford Ronaldo for like 1 million coins. That was like a huge milestone when we were like mainly a streamer versus a YouTuber, right? Because nowadays we're just a YouTuber because streaming is, he's making this video for a reason, you know? But it was so cool to be able to do that during that time period, to grind towards Ronaldo, right? To consistently get those coins. I don't know, man. Like, I just think this game doesn't really have a video game like concept to it, right? Most people spend most of their time on the menus. I would never, if I was a regular person and not a content creator, I would never spend more time on the menus than actually playing the gameplay. But that's what a majority of people do, because people are pack addicts and they just want to get the content. That's what it comes down to, right? That's why I always say you guys rely so much on the 1 o'clock content that you don't actually know how bad the game is, because if they don't release good 1 o'clock content, that this is where you can truly see how rough this game is. Because there's many years of gameplay not being great, but it's even worse if they don't release good 1 o'clock content, which you guys have seen for the past, I would say, like week and a half at the very least, you know?
On there,
and when they do release content, Musiala for 500k, like, you know what I mean?
Would have been in a good spot. That was probably the best new gen FIFA they had made. And it's like they just made the game 10 times worse. And last year, you guys know, I raged a lot. I lost my mind. Skill gap wasn't crazy last year. There was still a little. This year, it's like 0. You know, we're seeing pro players, they can't even get 13-2 because you get to some of these high elo games. It's like AI versus AI. There's one chance. And look, the ultimate largest problem with this game is that defense is too OP. Finishing is horrible. They had good finishing 2 years ago. Finishing is terrible.
Dude, the finishing, I'll never forget. I remember ranting about that game specifically like crazy during that time period. And I will never forget saying every single rant video, anybody that watched the rant videos for that specific year, I was like, the only thing that is saving this game is that they finally got the finishing down, except for 2 shots. I'm gonna give you guys like 2 seconds before I even say them. If you watch the rant videos, you'll know which 2 shots it was. It was the chip shots and it was the finesse shots inside the 18-yard box. Brother, if they changed those 2 mechanics, the finishing was the way that it should have been every single year. And it was the one thing that when I ranted about in the videos, I always mentioned every single time, that the finishing was saving the game like crazy. And I think it might have been FIFA 23. It might, or yeah, FIFA 23 or FIFA 22, one or the other. It was one of those ones, right? And I'm like, oh my goodness, like if we didn't have this finishing is such a crazy mechanic because it literally carries your game. Because if you do a good breakdown play, but you actually get rewarded for the breakdown play, it really eases your mind, right? So when we had that good finishing, oh man, that was the thing that really, really carried the game like crazy. Carried it, man. So yeah, I can't remember exactly which game it was. It might have been 23 or 22. It was one or the other.
Terrible. I had a team of the year Mbappe this week and I still couldn't finish. And I'm like, that's going to kill people's motivation because people's...
And then like, I'm scared to do rants videos because I kept saying in every single rants video, the finishing is so good. And then the next year they changed the finishing. Like, you actually have to be stupid. Guys, listen, man, I've been ranting about this game for years, mainly about inconsistent gameplay. But if someone like me who genuinely has like this huge hatred towards this company, and you guys know this, right? If someone like me tells you, you actually have a good mechanic, maybe you should be like, this guy who really hates us, who really, really hates us, is saying this mechanic is good. Maybe we shouldn't change it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't just me. Because like when the next year came out and the finishing was not the same anymore, content creators were saying the same things. They're like, why would you change the finishing? Because it was so good. Now, brother, you have 99 finishing stats. If you don't green time, good luck to you.
Motivation has worked on FC for EA for a long time because people were like, okay, I want to upgrade my team. I just think a lot of people are getting to the point where they don't care. Now, look, I'm not just saying...
They definitely don't, because transfer market reviews, they do not do as well as they used to.
This because of my experiences on this game. Look, it's been hard for me to even upload daily gameplay on my second channel because I'm like, it's just so hard to play the game mentally. It makes you mad every time. Because you don't feel a feeling of getting better. You feel like you're getting lucky or it's skilled. And look, I'm also making this video because a lot of you that watch me, you guys resub in the Twitch, the YouTube streams. So many people are resubbing and just saying, bro, I haven't played in 2 weeks. Bro,
yeah, dude, these guys are such goats because I get this all the time on the YouTube channel. They're like, yo, bro, I'm just trying to support like the living and stuff, but I'm not playing this game anymore. Oh, dude, I get these guys all the time, man.
quit. And look, we know this is going to be a slow period going into Black Friday, but I've never seen FC, let's say FIFA, but I'm going to say FC is a different era. So let's just say EA's game of FIFA overall, I've never seen it fall off this cliff where like people just do not even care. And I always thought, like, sitting here, like, man, EA is just so inevitable. Like, because, you know, for me, guys, obviously I like fast, high-skilled, attacking, tiki-taka gameplay. We've only had a couple FIFAs with those, but the recent ones, just last year and this year, I'm like, yo, the views are still really crazy. EA just must be super inevitable. Like, these guys just must really have the aura that no matter what they release, people will be addicted and play it. And I'm like, wow, you know what? This year, it just feels like people aren't addicted. Like, it feels like maybe this year was just the line of people went over the line. And the only thing that gets me even excited these days is like a repeatable player pick. We haven't even had that released yet. You know, I think the rewards hype has really died down because of how brutal the gameplay is. Yes, you do make good coins, but it's like, is it worth it to go through? And it's like so funny when you compare the FIFA community to the COD community. It's like, first of all, the COD sweaty lobbies are fun because there's this idea of getting better, positioning, movement, right? The COD pros, people love watching them because they're nasty. Nobody watches FIFA pros, and it's gotten even worse over the year. We used to meme FIFA pros like a couple years back, but people actually used to watch comp FIFA 17, 18. People don't give a crap. Like, if you look at comp FIFA, it's the least viewed content in the whole community because people...
Well, it's always been like this. The only reason why they get views is because they do their little promotions where it's like, if you watch a stream for this amount of time, we'll give you this. God knows if they would actually get that many views at all if they never did that. Like, who knows, you know? If they didn't have their drops or the things associated to their games.
People know what it is. It's a...
I don't even watch the... I swear on my life, I have not watched... This could be a good video, actually. I have not watched competitive FC in this game yet. And I guarantee you that just from following what these meta rats do in the elites division, where they just sacrifice regular football just to do the FIFA mechanic gimmick stuff, I can only imagine what it's like. I can almost guarantee you without watching that there's probably like 4 corner kicks scored in a game. Not gonna lie. I could only imagine because, like, dude, it doesn't even matter how fast you pull your goalkeeper, you could still get scored on. And what's even more annoying is when they just go back in the net when you pulled them. It's just... I can just that. I know it's Trivella's. I know it's the lob pass into the physical guy for the drop down because I see people do that all the time. I know it's the first time lob pass where your defenders don't react. Even if you control them for 5 seconds in advance, they still don't react to it. I can already see it just because of the same patterns of play that I'm seeing meta rat players do, right? Because they don't actually have brain cells to do a breakdown because EA allows so many of these bad mechanics in the game, you know?
A park the bus, glitch affair, and I'm like, how does EA at the end of the day proud? And this is what we have. We have new employees now that tweet out that they're proud of the product they shipped. Shame on these employees, man. I'm so disappointed with them because how can they sit there with a straight face and like be so proud of this product when we know what we had even in the past? It's never been good. It's never been perfect, right? But oh my...
Someone in my chat the other day actually gave me like a really good like thing about this. He literally says that like when people work on video games or developers work on video games, they don't always care specifically about the actual individual mechanics. They just care about making one thing work a certain way, and if they manage to make it work a certain way, that's a success to them. You know what I'm saying? I hope that they're watching this video, but I have a major issue with the gameplay devs because I'll never forget when I was at the studios, and I'm not going to mention who it is, but you guys probably know who it is, like during this time period. I'll never forget mentioning inconsistent gameplay to them in this room where we had horrible gameplay to play. Horrible, right? 3 monitors had worse delay than the 4th monitor, and the 4th monitor still had delay, and they were making us test that. And then after that was said and done, they expect us to give actual gameplay feedback on the game. And then I brought up the fact that inconsistent gameplay exists to them, and they just moved on like I didn't say that to them. In front of the gameplay dev team and in front of the 3 other content creators that did not, well, 2 of them, I don't know if they're still around, but one of them, great guy, but was disappointed at him during this time period. And he knows who he is, right? Because that could have been a catalyst of change if something were to happen there. And I'm just standing there like, 4 guys in the community, whole gameplay dev team. Hey, you guys have inconsistent gameplay. Nothing. To the point where a year or 2 after, I go to the studios again to try to fix inconsistent gameplay, and they're making us do the dumbest test because that's not how it works for you to get the best version of gameplay. And then we still deal with the issue nowadays. And they probably, I don't know, for them it's like they make their money, so they don't care. That's
my God, it's like
that's why I don't like talking too much about this stuff, because it brings back PTSD of a company who is genuinely incompetent, and to be fair to the gameplay dev team, who are brain dead. Like, I'm sorry, but the mechanics that you make in the game, you only make because your brain actually has to be operating at a slower pace for you to be okay with some of the mechanics that you actually dropped in the game. You have to be, because video games, first of all, inconsistent gameplay would have to be fixed. So I'm talking about the best version of gameplay all the time, right? But mechanics like where you're adding extra emphasis on the ball and you're proud of that sort of like animation thing for a video game is idiotic. I'm sorry.
They are outdoing themselves, and I'm sitting here like, I said this a lot last year. I'm like, how could they even make FC25 worse than FC24? They did, and the way they did it, they made the finishing way worse. The dribbling is terrible, and the defending is the most.
No, Nick, no, Nick, Kepa. Nick, you played FC24. If you play FC24 right now, well, technically speaking, the dribbling left stick wise is still a little bit better than it is now, 100%. But if you play FC24 right now, right, if you did not have press proven plus and minimum 95 dribbling stats everywhere, your left stick still sucked. It was still garbage. Not as garbage as it is now. And now it's just like, I don't know, bro. It's like they have this hammer, and it's like a pillar at the bottom that they're just hammering into the game. Like, we want more emphasis. We need to like just hammer it into the game. That's what they do, right? But let's not say that it's like better because we were used to using players last year. We got a bunch of players that had press proven plus with like 99 dribbling stats. And even the devs at EA know this, because they dropped press proven on almost all the cards that started coming out at some point. And then they're like, well, and I said this tweet. I'm like, yo, we're going to be in for a doozy next year, because cards that have 99 dribbling stats with press proven dribble like garbage. So when we get the new game next year, when we have none of those playstyles, we're cooked. You literally need to have, I'm not going to lie, you need to have a player that has press proven and Tiki Taka plus. Every single player needs to have that in order for you to somewhat enjoy this game. Because I'm telling you, if you use Alex Garcia, his left stick is significantly better than a lot of other players' left stick, right? But then again, you have to have the tiki-taka for your ground passes to work in simple situations, right? That's why for me, like, I told people, like, when I did the Rafinha review or when I did Putel's, I'm like, yo, tiki-taka, you guys don't like tiki-taka because you like to spam your little FIFA gimmick mechanic garbage, right? But tiki-taka is one of the play styles that if you want to play regular football, you can, because it it literally affects your ground passes. You can have 90 short passing, 90 long passing, but if you don't have tiki-taka, they ain't gonna pass like someone that has 90 short passing and 90 long passing. It's the same thing with the long ball pass. Look at the stat of a guy having high 90s for long passing and short passing, right? But if he doesn't have the play style, the pass is like nowhere near the same. Their goal of doing that from a casual point of view, that's why when I talk about the gameplay dev team, I view them from a casual point of view, is like, oh, we're gonna make it so that this player, like Pedri, for instance, is unique and only he can make those passes because he can do that IRL. Your game doesn't end up working that way from the longevity standpoint, because when these promo cards come out, brother, Sissoko is literally probably the best CDM in the game, one of the best CDMs in the game. And do you even know where he is in real life? I don't even remember the club that he's in right now. It might be legal. I think it was Nantes, maybe, right? But like, I guarantee you nobody actually watches him play. But in the game, he's the best because you made him the best. You chose to make him the best because of the play style that he had and because of the stats that he has. You choose it. That's what you want. You want to choose who's meta, who's not. Adama Traore, one of the best right mids in the game, probably the best. It could be the best right mid in the game. Why is he so effective? Because he's the only one from like all the stuff that he has at inside forward plus, has the pace, has the shooting. You make him into that, right? And that's what they wanted. I try to tell you guys before the game came out, it's a way to manipulate you, because their way of making those sort of cards on a consistent basis is gonna be through the promo cards now, right? That's how they're gonna do it. If we had evolutions in FIFA 15, brother, you would see way more sentimental teams, way more, because that game didn't have playstyles and it did not have roles. So you could play players whatever you want, and if you had 90s for dribbling stats, only your body type and your dribbling stats would affect it. It's not like that anymore.
I've never seen it.
I can have a card that has 90s for dribbling stats versus a card that has mid 80s for dribbling stats in the game right now, and the guy with press proven plus will do better.
And I'm like, so what
left stick wise
is the benefit for EA? Well, maybe this is good for the casual, but it's not. It's not good for the casual because the views are down like crazy because no one wants to play the game. And I think ultimately it's not manual enough. You don't have fun playing the game. That's the problem. There's been glimpses in the past where you cook somebody, you want to try out a new card. I think a lot of people are getting to that point now where they don't even want to play. You know, for me, I'm lucky. I had to buy a PC this year to even have like 5% gameplay, and it's just
5% gameplay. Nick has learned the ways.
it's insane, like what EA have done.
5% gameplay.
With this game. I mean, I'm looking at Reddit. I'm looking.
What is the 60% Timo Werner gameplay, boys?
Looking at Twitter, and it's funny because like people are on Twitter saying, "Oh, people are being overly negative," and I'm trying to deliver this video to you guys just in a way that's like honest. I'm not even trying to be.
You're all brain dead, by the ways. Clip that, ship that. You're all brain dead. Those people that protect this game, you're all brain dead. You're all brain dead.
Annoying or cry. I'm just trying to give you guys my honest feelings, and I'm like, this is.
He's more the thing about it than I am. You're brain dead.
The least motivated I have been to play this game. And yeah, Call of Duty came out and it's great. And yeah, I like watching football, and we upload football videos. If you guys don't know, I have an extra channel I'm gonna be uploading daily this month. But like you guys know me, man. I've been a FIFA FC. Well, let's say FIFA head. I'm not gonna say FC because I haven't liked FC. But I really feel like this game is starting to fall off a cliff the last year or two. And it's like, yeah, for me, it sucks because I'll make a little less money, right? Because FIFA for a while has been a massive cash cow. But it also sucks for the guy inside that, like, I really loved playing FIFA back then. And, like, just to see where EA has taken the game, I don't even know, man. It's really, really weird, like, where they're going with it. And I'm like, what is going to save the game? You know what I mean? Like, EA drops all first of all, they're tweeting out they're proud of this game. Let's talk about how they've made 15 update patches 3 times already, right? And like I'm gonna show you guys this because I was holding this for the video today because I wanted to make a video talking about this. I had this happen today. I want you guys to watch this. So the score is 2-1. Watch all these goals. And this is what happens when you add too many animations, too many commands.
Yeah, he does so many push touches. It's that's why I was like, I'm scared to do rants videos because I'm talking about push touches on a consistent basis. They add more of it. Look,
to watch this.
This is the stuff that like viewers, when they watch streams and the guy like concedes the most horrible goal on champs, they'll be like, Skilla should just a rage bait, right? But like, brother, it
so
happens
the score is
like
2-1.
I already seen it happening 3 times just from him showing this.
Watch all these goals, and this is what happens when you.
That's one, right? This one is already happening. The second one right there. Look at the second one.
This is what happens when you add too many.
That one right there, that extra touch, bro. Oh my goodness, that happens all the time, bro. Happens all the time, man.
The animations, too many commands. This is not the FIFA that we all used to love and play. It's just not fun. It's bad goal after bad goal. And I tell people, like, if you're sitting there judging your gameplay ability this year, on what rank you get, what skill rating you have, it is the least skill gap FIFA I've ever seen, and ultimately that's what's driving people away from it.
Oh my god, this bounce touch, especially when you're controlling them, holy, this bounce touch, man. The gameplay dev team, if you're proud of this mechanic, you are actually idiotic. This one, man.
Skill gap FIFA I've ever.
Oh my god. idiotic, man. There's no way you look at that mechanic and you actually think this is a good mechanic. You're actually stupid.
Ever seen it.
Oh my god, those bounce touches that happen all the time, man.
Ultimately, that's what's driving people away from it, because people don't feel like they really care to upgrade their team or improve at all. And it's like, when you play games that are goal after goal like this, you know, I'm doing this because this is my job. It's actually so taxing. Imagine you work a full day, you go to school, you just want to kick back and play some FIFA, and this is what is going on your screen. It's not even like that funny FIFA chaos anymore. It's
even this, like even this, people don't talk about. Like this goes right through his player right here. Look at that.
what is going on your screen. It's not even like that
Cursor on the player. Cursor on the player.
funny
He lets go of it, but still, like
FIFA chaos anymore. It's just so unfathomably unenjoyable that people don't want to deal with it anymore. I mean, did you just watch that? Like, that was all goal after goal after goal, and it's
in
like
one game too, man.
I feel
That's what I'm
bad
saying.
for
If I stream this game, I would lose it. Like, I give him mad props for continuously streaming this game over the course of the years, and not just this year. Over the course of the years, I give mad props. Like I said, I have not streamed consistently for this game since he was 17 because like the gameplay issue was never going to be fixed. That's why I just turned into mainly just a YouTuber so I can call it a day afterwards, you know. But it's rough this year. This year, whew, view number definitely much lower. Still good for a content creator though, guys. Honestly, like I have a perspective on what like life is like because I have worked a regular job before. So at the end of the day, still very grateful for it. No matter what, even if the views go down, I still get paid well enough to be able to do it 100%, right? And you definitely see it mainly for this like last week and a half. But at the end of the day, it's just sad. It really is. It's sad, but there's nothing new, you know. Like this has been the downwards trend of EA for the last like 10 years, you know. It hasn't, this is not new stuff. This is not like, oh, now this is our breaking point with FC25. No, people are just opening up their eyes a little bit more nowadays, you know. Even my friends have opened their eyes a little bit more, because I try to tell them all the time, like guys, just don't do it, you know. This year they finally see the light, bro.
for all of us, man, because we expect nothing from EA, but like we all spent the money on this game, and like to see the state of where the game is at 4, 5, 6 weeks after its release, I've never seen it so dead. I've never seen so much of my community that watches me every day so uninterested. You know, most of the guys that are watching this YouTube video, you guys don't even play anymore, man. A lot of you guys don't. I've been seeing my resubs. A lot of my viewers are constantly just wanting me to stop playing the game when I play it on stream now, because people don't even enjoy watching it. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. Like, we've never really had that. And we're also 5, 6 weeks into the game, you know? So what do you guys think? Can this game even be saved? Look, I'll continue to upload.
It can't be saved from a core perspective when it comes to gameplay, game modes, and gameplay. The only thing that saves us is the live content that they drop. And the main reason why we are posting this content is because their live content this year so far has been god awful. That is the main reason. Like, we got to be honest, right? Because I've mentioned this many times before in the past, that people only talk poorly about the game during certain trends, right? Like, oh, the game isn't really giving that much content right now, so that's when we're going to talk about it more. Because like, dude, like I said, the last like week and a half has not been crazy, but it's not even just been the last week and a half. Like, this whole year so far has been horrible, right? Like, it's been really bad for content, and that's what the game lives off of. So that's the only way that they can make the game survive, and even that's not good, you know?
Because at the end of the day, I like posting daily. UF,
like, you guys are telling me, and I didn't even know this because I don't play the game like this, right? But you guys are telling me that there's no like there's no player picks in the game. Like, I don't know what that means specifically. I don't know if you guys are talking about like 82 plus repeatables or something like that. But if that hasn't been in the game yet, and I understand how important it is to do that to grind fodder for SBCs, then yeah, like, dude, that's why like some of the views this year for like player views has gone significantly lower, unless the card is like at a specific price point for the amount of fodder that you can actually collect within the game. Because like, there's some cards that are actually very interesting, but people don't care to actually unlock it because they're so expensive. Not even price value wise, but because they can't grind fodder to get those specific cards. Like, they know that it's like a FIFA point thing in this game where it's like you gotta drain fodder in that way, you know?
UFL is going to be out in 3 weeks. So look, for UFL, for them, like, this is ideal because there's never been.
Yeah, but we said the same thing for eFootball, and they never improved the game to a point where they can dominate. UFL, they were still a ways off it, man. That whole like playing in advance thing, they would have to, like, I don't know if they're gonna fix that, but that's like a really big thing that they would have to fix for that game to even be remotely competitive. But yeah, sure, in a logical world, this is the best time for them to kind of take over, but I don't think it's gonna happen, to be honest with you. Like, that game when I played it was not ready. And I hope that when it does come out, it's significantly better than what I tried, to be honest, right? But I'm talking about eFootball during that time period. It was PES during that time period where it's like people, there was a specific year. People forget really quickly, but there was a specific year. It might have been like 18 or 19 where people were moving over to PES, all the content creators, right? Even the streamers and stuff, because the game was so horrible. And that game was just horrible to play. Like, it just wasn't good, right? Maybe if it was like the eFootball of nowadays, potentially people would have gotten more of a viewership, but
Been an FC that's been this low.
Let's make something very clear though, eh? This game will never die. It can have very, very rough points, but it will never die. If you are willingly playing FIFA 19, it will never die. EA is just the one that has to adjust the way that they do their live content, because it's been very inconsistent this year. But from a core perspective, you guys can now see your eyes are not closed anymore. If this game does not have live content, it is not a good standalone game, and it has not been a good standalone game for years now. FIFA 15 as a standalone game, when it was a game that like wasn't really getting that much content, was still a game that you would hop on and play every single day, regardless of the fact that they still had inconsistent gameplay, and it still made that game garbage to play too, because people are very forgetful when it comes to this stuff, right? But you would hop on FIFA 15, you would still grind divisions, you would still try to get different transfer market cards to get better, right? To get better players.
Viewed ever. So look, there's a huge base. We've seen with FIFA Peak that would love to play a good, fun, new, fresh, but I think this constant repetitiveness from EA, you know, like, let's even talk about how did they not add some 2v2 mode? Even if there was a 2v2 mode this year that was like with rewards, people would play it even with this terrible gameplay. How did they not reskin some part of draft? Yeah, they added rush, but there's nothing really that feels less or more organic this year.
I told you guys are gonna get drained with these game modes, man. I told you, brother. I don't want to be that guy, but I also want to be that guy, because people are like, oh, Inception, you could play too much. None. Now you see, bro. You see how for longevity, it's not gonna work, brother.
I mean, the Rivals rewards are great,
especially for a game like this.
But they need a good game. They need a half-decent game. This isn't even a 1% good game. It's all over the place. So what do you guys think is the step forward? Like, what do we think is going to happen with FC? Do you guys think that, like, Black Friday, Winter Wildcards, Team of the Year, like, I love checking out the content every day. I love playing a game or two, but I tell you this, I used to love grinding the game.
They got to make the cards more packable, that's for sure.
Playing 10 to 15 games. I don't even want to play Weekend League anymore. Like, it's really bad. And the Weekend League has the best rewards we've ever had. And I guess it's really showed me that, like, maybe it's not all about the rewards. It has to be a little bit about the gameplay. You know, I think I used to really like the speed the game had, the passing. And I know people could say, just let it go, bro, it's all over. But I think EA at the end of the day are really killing their player base away because of how defensive they're making this game. I don't even think the bots like this game because it's just so unenjoyable and it's so jammy and it's like people just, I think, are tired. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that, like, big promos are going to save this game this year? I don't even know. I mean, obviously, pack grinds, Team of the Year.
It's the only thing that can save this game. If people don't get this soon, the game will die. And EA, they will do their ways where it's like, oh, we'll make the game dead right now, but then we'll make this promo really good. Like, it's just the dead periods that we have. They just do it way more often nowadays. Like last year, like, guys, just as a comparison, right? Like, icon SBC wise, brother, they gave us Vidic last year as an icon SBC. And you know who they gave us as an icon SBC this year? One of the worst ones you can possibly get, Varane. They always do this though, because, like, dude, you even seen, and hopefully they juice this card like crazy, but you even seen that with the new SBC coming out, Beasley is leaked as one of the new SBCs. Brother, they have to really juice Beasley for him to be good, because Beasley is usually trash. You know, even if he gets promo cards last year, he's still garbage. So, you know what I'm saying? Not Vidic, Blanc? No, we got Vidic last year, guys. I even checked my analytics the other day. You're right, though. We did get Laurent Blanc. We did, but Vidic was one of them, too. Let me see. 23 and 23. Views wise, I don't think it was like, was it here? No, it was, nope, nope, nope. We got Vidic. We got Vidic on November 3. November 3, 88 Centurions icon Vidic. When did we get Laurent Blanc last year? Was it earlier than Vidic? Maybe it was. Brother, they even gave us the Centurion icon Pirlo SBC last year. Bro, even I swear Varane is the only icon we got this year. We even had Stoichkov last year. I'm looking at it right now. Stoichkov was one. I can't see the other ones because the now it's just too old to like look through it. But brother, we got like 4 or 5 icon SVCs already. Blanc, Pirlo, Eusebio, Vidic.
Year, like the icon packs. That's
check Nep's vid if you haven't. He compared content between last year game and this year at this point. Oh no, dude, I as a content creator, I've been looking at like what was posted last year and what's posted this year. Brother, the content this year is really bad. Like I said, man, like I was looking, brother, trust me.
Stuff is always fun, and I like chilling in the streams with you guys and doing that stuff, but ultimately, like, this gameplay overall with gameplay this year, it's like the lowest viewed gameplay I've ever seen. Like, people just don't even want to tune in and watch the game. And it's crazy to see the state of where football games are at. eFootball is really struggling right now too, because their game has gone from like 3 years ago. Now they have heightened AI like crazy. The AI in that game is crazy. So AI is just taking over the world, I guess. It's crazy on FC. What are you guys thinking, man? What do you guys think is a step forward? Like, it's funny because a lot of you who watch these rant videos over the years will probably hear me talking about specific things that EA need to fix. I haven't even mentioned one in this video because EA is not fixing anything. They drop patches, nothing really changes. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what's going to save FC25. I think
it's just content. So they will, the core mechanics or the core stuff of the game, no.
Only way they could save it is if they completely scrapped all this AI, parked the bus, and crazy animations, which I just don't think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to do it. But that EA, if you want one thing for me to tell you guys, it's why people are leaving and not playing your game. People can't deal with the glitchy rebounds, and people can't deal with this constant, okay, instead of playing football, I'm going to run down a line, and I'm going to somehow...
From a gameplay perspective, yes. And people did not agree with this at first when I said this, but it's also because of the way that the gameplay game modes are formatted. The gameplay game modes are formatted for addiction, okay? There is no other game that I play that has quantity amount like Foot Champs where you're going to feel like absolute garbage for losing a trash game that has so much value towards your rewards at the end of it, right? That's one, the quantity amount. I've always said this for Foot Champs, and you guys know I said this for Foot Champs a long time, right? But then the other thing is you can have division rivals and you can have the way that it's formatted, but when you do not have a game mode like a tournament mode, like the World Cup, where you have your three group stage games and then your knockouts, or you don't have a Gold Cup, or you don't have divisions matchmaking from division 10 to 6, 5 to 1, if you do not have that other mode to balance out the competitive, and then you don't even have Foot Champs, because that's the main thing here, because I try to tell you guys for a year that quantity amount is not a good thing, right? It just feeds into your addiction, which is why it's one of the modes in the game. You're going to be cooked. You are going to be cooked. You're not going to see it in the short term, but you will see it in the long term, and now you guys can see it. That's why the game gets progressively worse, because I look at these game modes and I'm like, oh, look, they made it even more competitive. Idiotic, bro. You have evolutions in the game, and the only way to unlock evolutions is to go play, well, I don't know about the new ones, but it's to go play squad battles, which I'm sorry, but not everybody wants to play against AI to do that, right? And then it's also to play Rush, which, you know, people basically do this, right? They put their 2 thumbsticks like this, and because they're so crazy, because they're so addicted to rewards, that on a controller that costs $100, they're going to do the thumbstick thing to just put on the desk, or an elastic or whatever. Elastic on a PS5 controller, by the way, is crazy work, brother. Let me tell you.
Find a way to break down all these players. People are losing motivation.
What does this guy say in my chat? They remove squad battles and force you to do evos and rush. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't play the game like that, guys. You know? What?
I think this promo that EA just did was the worst thing they could have done because they gave everybody Team of the Year cards and people realized I still can't outrun Gold VVD. I can't outrun Gold Saliba. So what's going to happen when we get to Team of the Year and Bobby's 15 mil? Does somebody want to go and grind upgrade packs? Yeah, they might still do it.
By the way, is the running thing. I'm not against the running thing because you guys only want pace back in the game so that you can counterattack even more. You can park the bus even more. You want it to be like last year's game. You want pace back just so that you could do those goals every single time to park the bus and counter. No, that is one thing that I like to have in a football game is nerfed pace. Maybe not to this extent. They had it right on one year. It was FIFA. Which game did they patch like crazy? I forget which one it was. Was it 22? They had the pace right in that game. Which one was it? Was it that they did the dribbling adjustment for? You are so wrong, Ninops. Listen, you're not listening to me. Okay, that's what I'm saying. The way that they did it this year with the pace was overdone like crazy, but it's overdone like crazy even more because of the way that dribbling works. Because dribbling is so heavy that when you're running while dribbling, it's so heavy unless you have like Rapid Plus, right? That's why I'm saying that there was a year specifically where it was nice that if someone did tackle and miss and you would be through on goal because it was clear and obvious, then you would be through on goal. Nowadays, it's like, brother, a guy can do like 3 tackles and still catch up to you, which is just idiotic, right? But again, they do stuff to just make it easy for the brainless people to be able to play the game, right? I'm sorry, because it's not like actual football plays that are happening that people are scoring most of the times. You can do them. You can do them. You can. I'm not saying that you can't, but it's not the best way of playing the game, and it should be.
Do it because the packs are fun. I will be there too.
But do I like personally a pay? Like, I'm sorry, but if you guys want the pace to be the same as FC24, I'm sorry, you're wrong. You're wrong because every single goal that you would concede in that game if you did not play a defensive tactic was a counterattack every single time. It was a counterattack cut back into a driven pass. I do not want to hear it. That was literally the game the entire year last year.
The
whole year.
But it's definitely not as much because you're like, damn, I don't even really want to play. It's crazy, man. I've been reading through the FIFA Reddit today. If you guys haven't read through it, go read through it yourself.
A lot of you guys become very unhappy with mechanics not being good. No offense to you, because you guys don't actually do football plays. You guys specifically look for the things to abuse, right? Like, for instance, you look for an L1 speed boost. Brother, if you come to me and you're like, we nerfed L1 speed boost to the ground, I would be the happiest person ever because I never even wanted to use it to begin with because it's a cringe FIFA mechanic, right? Like everybody being able to do a Trivela. But you know what? You got to keep Finesse Shot Plus and Trivela in the game. Why? Because you have Park the Bus. So that way, your community, when they talk about the individual game mechanics in the game, right? They're going to be like, oh, but we need this to deal with this. No, your mentality is always, we need garbage to deal with garbage. That's what your mentality is all the time. So if I say that something needs to be removed, but something needs to be adjusted with the thing that's being removed, you're like, oh, but we need this to deal with this. We need this to deal with this. That is the common occurrence every single time we talk about gameplay mechanics. Every single time. We need this to deal with this. What about just having a good game? How about that? How about passing just making sense? How about dribbling just making sense? How about defensive plays actually just making sense? Brother, I literally ranted about how horrible it is that your players take extra emphasis touches when they do first touches, and that's like, it's almost like it was an added feature in this game. Like, brother, I'll press the pass button and the guy will still do another dribble. Oh, man, I even have a clip of me never going upwards on a dribble. Never going upwards on my thumbstick. You can literally see it. I never went up, and he still went up, bro. Guys, the game is like, if you manually defend in this game, good luck to you. It's trash. If you don't play a super park the bus tactic that relies heavily on AI to defend for you, it's trash. Like, manual defending should be the main way of actually being able to defend situations. Like, there was a specific year where, like, whatever year it was old FIFAs. It might have been, like, FIFA 14 or 13. I don't remember what it was. Those are old ones. Where it was manual defending, and it was the second man press. It was both of those mechanics working a specific way that allowed you to actually have skill when it came to defending. That's not a thing anymore, bro. That's not a thing anymore. It was manually using a guy to watch a run, and then you would use the second man press to push towards a guy. Forget which one it was, man. It was an old one. I think it was 14, 13, something like that, bro. But that was a good year for defending manually, right? But it's like, now it's like, bro, the amount of times that I get saved from something that I don't even see happening. I just see my defender coming out of nowhere and he just saves me, because if I'm manually defending, I can't move properly at all. Brother, on the console, especially, like if I didn't play on the PC, oh my gosh.
We'll put this,
brother, moving on the console like manually is
as a final point in this video. I have never, ever, 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 ever seen the community so aligned on one video game. I have never seen the FC community so in agreement about not liking a game. Usually people are like, last year, like some people like, oh, like this and that. This year, everybody's like, nah, you know, and that is actually refreshing to see. Hopefully, maybe if there's a year or two where this game just does terrible, that EA can figure it out. But the one problem I will warn you with EA, Madden died. You guys lost Madden because you made that game really bad and glitchy, and you had a player base. 2K over the years, recently, good for a week or two. People just don't play it anymore. So EA, the clock.
Yeah, 2K, like, it can get to that point, because 2K was a game that like really had an audience, man. 2K is the one that really had an audience. That game was a really good example. I remember that one. They can head in that direction potentially. Hopefully not, but that one was a crazy one, because that community was strong back then, bro. That was a strong community, bro. A strong community back in the day. I don't even watch basketball at all, and I even watched the content creators in that game. It was fun to watch, you know?
It's ticking for you guys. I'm telling you right now, people are getting a little fed up of this, man. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments your thoughts. I'm going to be reading through these tonight. Thanks for watching the video. I'm trying not to over-complain to you guys, man. I'm just really, what you guys feel, trust me.
Oh, dude, if I was Nick and I was like consistently streaming the game, yeah, it'd be like 5 rant videos in a month. He consistently streams it. That's the thing, bro. Like if it was me to him, like no chance, bro. There's a reason why I don't stream this game consistently anymore, because if I did, I would absolutely lose my mind. 100%, bro. I would have already lost my mind in FIFA 17, bro. You imagine me playing the game on stream nowadays? Oh, brother, I would be cooked, man. It would be crazy, bro. Sometimes I do the player reviews, and I'm praying that my gameplay is at least at like a 40% capacity on PC, just for me to be able to do a review. I pray. I'm like, please, bro, please, if I switch, like it actually switches, like, you know. Honestly, a big thing that would really help this game, because of how it's currently formatted, is having the ability to replay FUT Champs, and that goes for both the qualification and for the regular weekend, because that way people would have a regular mode they can play once they're done playing division rivals, and they would have a mode where even if the rewards are significantly less, they would have a mode where they can consistently play it. And like I'm just what I'm saying is stupid, but I'm only giving a solution to a stupid game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's already stupid that I'm saying this, but it's just a solution for a stupid game. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. Pretty much it for the reaction for Nick's video. There was another one that people wanted me to react to, was about the esports scene, which I have not watched at all, so I'll probably do that one after. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.